All right, welcome everybody who's just joining from the waiting room. We are going to just give a couple more minutes because some folks are still finishing up with the keynote before they arrive here. But we will get started very, very shortly. Good. All right, well, welcome everybody who's joining. I think in the interest of time, I'll just get started with some housekeeping and welcome, and then we can use the rest of our time for David's presentation. All right, so welcome everybody to this How I Built It session with special guest David Broza from ANWB, where he is the technical lead for mobile development. And he has a major location-first redesign of their trip navigation app to tell you about. I'm Marina Smith, the customer community lead at Mapbox, and I'll be moderating this session. We're going to start with a presentation from David and then take questions. So if you have questions, you can type them in, or you can wait until after the presentation and then raise your hand, and I'll invite folks one by one to ask a question live, or I'll be reading questions that folks have submitted. All right, so David, with that, over to you. You want to get your screen share up, and the stage is yours.
Okay, thanks, Marina. So let me share my screen. Hopefully it works as smoothly as we practiced. Can you guys see my presentation?
Yes, looks good.
Okay, great. So welcome everyone. Nice to see you all. My name is David, and I work as a technical lead at a company called ANWB. And today I'm going to tell you a little something about how we leverage Mapbox to help drivers on the road in the Netherlands. I think, first of all, I want to talk a little bit about ANWB because it's not very known outside of the Netherlands. But our company is actually over 130 years old, which is quite unusual in this navigation business. We've been doing roadside assistance since 1950s within the Netherlands. We are known as the AAA of the Netherlands. Let me turn the lights on, hopefully. Okay. We are also traffic information provider in the Netherlands. So when you hear a radio broadcast in how traffic's going on, there's very, very big chance that information is coming from ANWB. We have around 3,000 employees. We have business in insurance, in travel, and in a roadside assistance. And we are so-called a membership organization. And at this point, we have close to 6 million members, which is pretty much half of the population of the Netherlands. But now from ANWB, let's zoom into more map-related things. We have one product we called ANWB Onderweg app. Onderweg means in Dutch, literally on the road. So it's an app that should help you while you're traveling. This app is in App Store and Play Store for the last 10 years, so there's quite a bit of history. And what you could do with it in a past and still can is pay for parking in the Netherlands, look for garages for parking, look up fuel prices, call roadside assistance information, check the traffic information. The only thing was, all of this was very separate user journeys. It was not tied very together. And another big thing about it is like it's all maps are the centerpiece. The information we provide is mostly map related. This was great. It's actually our most successful, biggest app, but we had some challenges. One of the biggest challenges was it's called the Onderweg app on the road, and it wasn't very helpful while you're driving. It was useful when you're planning a journey. It was useful when you arrived and wanted to pay for parking, but we didn't have anything that would help you while you're actually going somewhere. Technically, we had other challenges. Maps are not something very simple. Like integrating data to maps is quite complicated tasks. Also, we have native Android and native iOS apps. So basically all the map related work and all other work had to be done twice, once for both platforms. So in a year 2020, ANWB and ANWB ask a question like, how might we become more relevant while driving? How do we help people while driving? We started researching for options for turn-by-turn navigation or something that could help people while they are driving. We built a lot of proof of concepts during 1 year. We tried different SDKs, different providers. But after all the proof of concept and all the tests, we ended up choosing a Mapbox as a partner for building this user journey. Next, I'm going to show you what we actually built. That might be the most interesting. We basically took our old ANWB app and we refreshed it. We used Mapbox as a strategical building block for building the navigation and a map experience. What we have now is app that can do navigation, that also supports people while doing just a free drive. I'll get back to it later. It opens a whole new platform for us because now we even have an app for Apple CarPlay that just runs in people's cars, which is whole new environment. And we are live since September 2022, which is something I would also like to point out. It's basically, we are super proud of our team. It took a year to deliver this whole experience, which we think is record-breaking time for something as complicated as this. So let's zoom in a little bit what the new ANWB app can actually do. Of course, first of all, it can do route planning. You can plan routes in the Netherlands. We leverage Mapbox navigation SDK to plan routes. We also use Mapbox search to actually search for the destinations. Basic route planning is okay, but we also enrich this by giving users a bit more information while you're planning a route. You might have electric car. You might want to see EV chargers that are on your route. That's something we can do. We can see that in a middle screenshot. With help of Mapbox route planning SDK, we can even add extra ETA times when you going to the charger. Exactly same thing applies for the tank stations or gas stations that we show along the user's route. So after you plan routes, of course, you travel. And this is the new part for us where we can actually support people while they are driving. So what we do is we use Mapbox navigation SDK where we customize the UI to match ANWB house styles. And we provide people with the turn-by-turn navigation where the map you are seeing on the navigation is overlaid with our own data. As you can see on screenshots, you can see gas stations with real-time prices, so you can find good source of fuel. On a second screenshot, what you can see, it's our free drive mode. A lot of our users knows where they are driving. If you're driving to and from work, you might not need a navigation, and this is where our free drive mode comes in. What you can see, for example, in this setting is you are seeing the current street parking prices while you are driving. Also get more to free drive later. Zooming in into navigation, as I already mentioned, this is using standard turn-by-turn navigation. We also have nice features from Mapbox like fast route detections. And together with Mapbox, we were able to include more detailed speed limits data from the Dutch government, with whom we work as ANWB. And we were also able to include a lot of road closures data from the Netherlands into Mapbox Planner. So the users are not routed into closed roads. And based on our tests, we have one of the most accurate engines that avoids road closures in the Netherlands. Next one, and a really big one, is alerts. When using our navigation or free drive mode, we can actually warn people on speed cameras. We can warn people there are safety hazards on the road. For example, there's a broken down car, there's oil spillage. Using Mapbox technology, we can actually show alerts that are relevant to the users, which is very, very big for us. And I also have to say it wasn't that hard to build this whole thing thanks to Mapbox SDKs. More about the free drive mode. This is indeed used by users that don't know their destination. Users can set what data they want to see using settings. Somebody prefers EV chargers, someone prefers just seeing gas stations, some people prefer seeing nothing. What's really interesting about is that our warning system for speed cameras and for the traffic incidents still works in a free drive mode, because Mapbox eHorizon is able to predict where the user will drive and show warnings based on this. So after the driving, you arrive somewhere, and this is where our whole journey kind of connects together. We had parking before, charging before, but now we can be much more relevant. When you finish your navigation drive, as you can see on the first screenshot, we can already show users, okay, parking here, if you stop, will cost 4 euros. You can drill down deeper. We can show you parking that's cheaper, little walk away. Again, to see how far you need to walk, we can leverage Mapbox SDK. Same applies with EV charging. But now you might ask, how did we do all of this in less than a year? I have to say, with the great help of Mapbox. For example, all the maps you are seeing are pretty complex. We're showing EV chargers, parking stations, parking sectors, all this kind of stuff. What we used here is maps built by our design team in a Mapbox design studio. This was a game changer in how we develop maps, because what we have now is designers are empowered to build maps themselves, then independently deploy them, and we can use the one map that they built in iOS, Android, and even a CarPlay. This smoothen out all the development of any map styles that we needed, and really gave the tools to the designers that can actually deliver really great user experiences. Another part that really helped us is Mapbox styling service. In order to be able to use the gas stations and all the POIs in a Mapbox studio to design a map, we need to deliver data there. For this, we basically publish all our POI data to Mapbox styling service. Then the data are used in a Mapbox studio to design map styles that gets published and used by our application. Another big part of this whole solution is the relevancy while driving. If you think about this, this is a really hard problem. If it's just the routes that you are driving, like the navigation, even that is complicated, because you need to map match the objects to the road and make sure the objects are on the same road you are driving. It's even more difficult in a free drive mode, where you have to guess where the user is driving and then do the map matching. Using Mapbox eHorizon, this was much simpler for us, and we could really just focus on building user experience, because Mapbox eHorizon does this out of the box quite easily. So we basically only built the data pipeline that feeds the eHorizon with the data, and then implement the user experience, showing the relevant warnings. As of this moment, we use this for the speed cameras in the Netherlands, and various safety warnings like spillage on the road, accidents, incidents, all this kind of stuff. Little sneak peek, that's something that we don't have in our production app, what we are trying to make work, is we also want to warn people about incoming ambulances. So imagine you're driving on a highway, there's an ambulance behind you. To make the situation safer, drivers need to move to the side. Using eHorizon, we are hoping to be able to show you this ambulance warning that's relevant to your location, so you know that the ambulance or any other emergency vehicle is coming. This is something we're working on together with Dutch government and a Mapbox, and hoping that you can see it in production very soon. To wrap up, we use Mapbox Studio that basically enables our design team to create amazing maps. This was a game changer, moving map design from development to the design and speeding up. We use styling service to really smoothly and seamlessly integrate data with map styles with quite low effort. We use eHorizon to show relevant alerts to the users while they are driving. And we leverage search and navigation SDK to get people to their destinations. And if I would sum it up in one sentence, we can really focus more on building great user experiences, and Mapbox does all the hard work with navigation and map matching and eHorizon. And this was my presentation. Thank you. And
Fantastic.
curious what question you have.
Thank you, David. Yeah, fantastic. All right. Well, and yes, everyone, remember you can put questions into the chat. And I've got one that was submitted here. So impressive how ANWB looks like you're taking on big competitors in the trip planning space, like native map apps, view apps. What do you think gives ANWB an edge in creating unique value for your users?
This is really good question. Like for us, we see opportunity in making a navigation app that's more local. It's really Dutch app for the Netherlands. We believe we can focus this more and deliver better experience for the Dutch users, ANWB members, than Google or Apple can. Also, what's unique about us, we combine things in a user journey. Like, for example, you saw the example with parking. You can have one app that takes you to place and checks how much parking costs in that area, and you can pay for that parking directly. You can have one app that finds you available EV charger when you're arriving, and we believe this is unique. That's one part of it, but really big part of it, this is really hyper-local for the Netherlands.
Nice. Yeah, I wish I could have it here in Hawaii. That's for sure. Sounds like a great app. All right, other questions sent to me. It sounds like you found Mapbox and just started building right away. How was the learning curve and experience of getting started?
Yeah, this is exactly true. Like how we chose the solution that we're gonna use, we built proof of concepts with it. So all the other solutions we considered, we basically took and just started building. And feedback from the development team on Mapbox is this is one of the easiest to start building with. We could literally have something up and running within days. The documentation from Mapbox is very good. The examples that are online are very, very good. And this just let us experiment really, really quickly. And in later stages, Mapbox team was really helpful in advising on how to actually build stuff better.
Awesome. All right. One final question, just squeaking in the time here from Mel. If you could wish for one navigation related map feature that is missing right now, what would it be? Navigation
related map feature. Ooh, we actually, it's hard because Mapbox has pretty much everything we were looking for. Yeah, I don't really miss much to be honest, but what I would rather see better search features than the navigation features. So finding places could be tuned a bit more. And for example, having better coverage for EV data and fuel data. I believe that's something that's coming, but it's something we would really, really like to see.
Absolutely, yeah. We've got some great new features that we're excited to work with you and your team on, David. All right, everybody, that's it. We're at time. Please make your way to the next session. Thank you so much, David, for joining us live. This was excellent. And see you in the next session, everybody.
Thank you, guys. Bye.